Everyone, welcome along. Welcome back to Griffin, Indiana with Kevin and Jocelyn. And Kevin is just running the last two hay bales out to the North Meadow. He was all set to do a little bit of maintenance on the baby John Deere when suddenly realised that these guys must be just about out of hay. So he's grabbed a couple of bales and we've trundled out here. Looks like the North Meadow itself is ready for a cut, which is good. While he was down at Larson's last, he grabbed a couple of contracts because there were a couple of people in the district needing. It looks like they haven't quite run out here, but they must have been real close. Where are we? North Meadow. North Meadow. Yeah, they must have been just out. So they had a tiny little bit of health, but we've got some hay in there now, so that should bring them back pretty quickly. The other thing we need to do with cows, of course, is we need to sell these ones that have just given birth. Hay's getting low across the board, and of course we've now got none left in the barn at all. So clearly cutting that pasture's on the agenda, but both the contracts on field 32 and field 34 are hay contracts, so they should getting them done should, in addition to putting a little bit of cash in the bank, give us some hay bales to be spreading around. The other thing, looking at that field, we need to get out there with the weeder. So there is certainly, let's just have a quick look. What is the damage here? The hoe is required. You can see there these sort of medium-sized weeds. That's not unexpected. So what we don't want to be doing though is leaving it any longer. So I think what Kevin will probably do here is get on the blower and organise a couple of folks to help him today. Seeing we've got these contracts, we might get someone just on the ridgy track running the weeder there while we take care of a couple of the bigger jobs and get people organised working on these contracts. So it'll be another busy one here on the farm, which is not a bad thing at all. But for now, let's put this back in the shed. Our milk cows are fine. There's probably could do with a milk delivery, but that's at the lower end of our priority sequence for the minute. Let's run over and right at the bottom of the list is taking this trailer load of timber down to the wood place, but let's finish the maintenance on this tractor. So only a little bit required there, but nonetheless, that gets us in good shape. Now let's get the weeder sorted before we forget. So, oh, there's the weeder right next to the ridgy track anyway. So let's get that out and going. Jump up to the field. Few clusters of weeds in there, but I'm sure it won't take much to get it sorted. 4.7 feels pretty good. 2 headlands will do fine, and we'll start in the center. We're on the correct field, going up and down in that direction. Off you go. So we'll leave him to do the weeding. I think the next job, let's get down to Larson's and sell the half dozen cows that we've got ready to go, because while we're there we can do our usual trick and switch them over for another 30, which we'll put in, and that'll bring the Twilight 2 pasture up to be fully stocked. So pretty sure these are the last ones that we'll have ready for sale for a little while out of the home pasture here. 31.25, there the ticket. So we'll pop them in the trailer. Just like that. There's nothing else untowards here. They're all quite young now, so they'll grow up quite nicely, and our attention will move to some of the other paddocks for our next sales. But let's duck down to Larson's. Just back in here and unload these. Phoned ahead, so the 30 new calves we were after are all ready to go. So this should be a pretty quick transaction today. 6 for sale. At 18,500, and then we pick some more, and this time we want the full complement of 30, and we're full up, and we added 9,000 to our kitty, so that was good. Been getting some good feedback passed on through Larson's. Apparently we haven't done a lot of cattle, but we've done a few over a little while, and there's starting to get a little bit of interest from further afield in our brand, so it's kind of interesting. He hasn't really taken much note of sort of the rearing stakes. He's concentrated on just taking whatever calves you can get and sort of fattening them up to about 30 odd months and selling them on. But nonetheless, there's a bit of talk around the traps that the grass feeding program that he's got seems to be delivering the results, which is nice. So we'll see where that goes. The long-term watchers of the series will remember his real goal here is to be a bit of a serious player in the district, and so he kind of thinks to be doing that ultimately. Well, the first major target is to have $1 million worth of cattle in addition to the rest of the farm operations. Well, that's 300 head at 3,500 a piece. That's his $1 million. Well, we're almost at 300 head for the first time. Just a little bit under, I think. Hasn't actually totaled them up recently, but if you look at the two, this will take the second Twilight field to fully stocked, so there'll be, and the third one's at about 40, so there's 160 odd just between the 3 Twilight pastures. The home pasture's down around 40 odd, so there's probably 120 split over the rest, so we're not a long way from that 300 head. And as we've been talking about the last couple of episodes, the target's to buy a couple of, whoops, we can't see much through the trees there, but a couple of fields over the back there and do what we've done here. Set pastures up on the edge of the meadows. So just stuck in here. Run down the end and see if we can drop these in the pasture. So there we go. That's the truck empty. Now, next job is these, just kill that there for a minute. Looks like our weeding's going all right. The next job are these contracts. You can see that 32 and 34, they're both for hay to go to Larson's. If we have a look at the map, 34 is this little one up the top, and then 32 is probably almost four times the size of it down here. So what he's thinking is if we get a couple of folks organised, even though he's borrowed the equipment, if we use our own gear to do the little one on 32, which is also, by the way, the closest to us, then we don't necessarily need to collect it ourselves, but we just minimise the amount of movement of equipment between fields. So we've got our John Deere mower and our little tedder. Well, they could just knock that out and get all the hay made, and we could concentrate our attention on the other one. So that's his plan of attack at this stage. So we'll get this gear up to field 32 and get it started, and then we'll head down and tackle the other and get the contract gear moved across to the other field. Let's just get you all sorted to follow. Away we go. Plenty of turning room out of there, and here he comes. So the other advantage here, you can just see him behind the stack there. The other advantage going this way, of course, is we don't have to go all the way down to the main road. We can just cut round the end of Woody End Field, through Woody End Field here, and a bit of a shortcut never goes astray. He was all intending to drop the crop into Woody End Field here, but getting so low on hay means that's really the higher priority. So once you feel a lot better once we've got a few bales of safety net in the barn. And the two folks he's got working on this today, they could just do a straight follow course, but they're not confident, so he'll set them up with course play and they can just take their instructions from there. They've done that before, so that should be a workable solution. We just kill that course. Work width 4.1. We only need to do 3 headlands on here. Sharp corners is good. Away we go. And you can start. We'll copy that course. And then stop this one. Because he leaves enough of a swath, we can actually use the same course. And he's far enough ahead that we should be able to send him off. Even though this piece of equipment isn't quite as wide. Let's just see how you go there. Perfect. Just what we want to see. So that'll work nicely. Shouldn't take them too long. And our advantage is we can run back through. This is the example of the meadow, one of the meadow areas that he's looking to buy just here, which is only, if we have a look on the map, just through the tree line from our place. So if we had a look at the field layout, you know, either 41, 42 have these big areas of grassland and would lend themselves to setting up pastures on the edge of the tree line over here, which is exactly what he's got in mind. Here we go, just a short duck through the trees, and we're back on the edge of our North Meadow. So now we can just duck down the dealership and get some equipment shifted up to start on the bigger hay contract. Here you can see the collection of equipment that we've got to choose from. We might put the mowers on the borrowed tractor. We set ourselves up with the tedder and the windrower. They're going to be the first three pieces that are required, of course. Looks like we've got a nice Novacat cross flow mower, so that'll doesn't really make much difference when we're doing hay, of course, because we're still going to make a bit of a mess tedding it, so it doesn't matter really if it's done in swaths or not. And we'll come back for the baler and the trailer in due course. We'll head up to field 34 and get this guy working on mowing the grass. I think because of the width of the tedder, and from memory this mower is just a fraction wider than the windrower, what we might do is just while he's mowing, we'll go and pick the baler up, and with any luck we might be able to whiz through and bale. Well, we'll at least transfer the other equipment, I think is the plan. Let's get all of that up to the field first, and then we can take stock based on how far through he is as to what job will be best served next. Right. Now, if we have a look at our horseplay course, The work width should be 10 meters on this device, if I'm not mistaken. It's just reading off the front mower. We will do 2 headlands. And we'll start on the centres. No point in having so much overlap. Generate the course. Off you go. And what we might do here is drop all our gear off so that it's all ready to go. Oh, and he's promptly folded up and decided that the course doesn't want him to start in that corner. Fair enough. Unfold you ready to go for next time. And go back and get that baler. If we just check it back in over here, we'll see that our tedding and mowing operation is coming on very nicely. And we've probably got a choice. We can either windrow it as it's set and just halve the number of baling runs, or just run the bales over the windrows that we've established. So we'll just wait. We'll finish this field off last. Pretty much looks like our mower is done. Which is terrific. Always a good spot to be. Looking at the weather forecast, there's some rain coming, so it'll be handy if we can just get it cut and tedded, so that all we need to do is bale it up when the rain comes. At 11 in the morning, Kevin's pretty happy with how that's come together. Complain at all about that one. Just move off the field. Can we sneak any extra on the side? We can. Not sure exactly where the boundaries of this field lie, but never hurts to do this around if we've got a minute. Might be an extra bale or two of hay that makes all the difference. And so it looks like indeed we can get a row all the way around the outside, so that's good. We'll pop over to the road and wait for the tedder to finish. We just check the map. The advantage of all this technology is we can keep an eye on our field work, so we can see our weeder is progressing. And if we look at the information displays that we've got, one more, weeds are about halfway done on that field, so that's coming along very nicely. Similarly, our mower's progressing nicely on field 32, so what I am thinking, let's pull up a little bit further. What I'm actually thinking is just running over with the baler and tackling that other field while the grass is being mowed here. We should be able to just duck through the back. And with any luck, without getting ourselves into too much difficulty, we'd be able to pop over here, and especially with just the baler on the back, and get ourselves going on this one. Let's have a look. We'll make bigger bales if we can. They're all hay, so 180s will do fine. There's no need for them to be little ones. Pop onto the field. And turn it on, and away we go. There we are, our tedder's finished, so we'll just pause here for a second and go and get that. Can we put that course in here? Yes, we can. Send you to the first, actually the nearest waypoint will do you. And you should be able to successfully follow that round while we head this outer strip that we did. So of course this strip won't be in the course, so we'll go around and manually pick it up when we're finished. But for now, we can tootle around and enjoy the sunshine on this lovely April morning. Although there's not much of the morning left. It's all working fine. Has he gone and got himself stuck in the corner, possibly on that tree? Because of the sharp corners, he might not be able to navigate as well as I would like. Certainly appears to be the case. We'll fix that in just a second. Looks like that tree's just in the spot where he needs to reverse up a fraction. Or at least he's looking to reverse up a fraction. There we go. Sorted. Now it looks like our mower, that timing might work out quite well because our mower is finished on the other field. What I'm thinking is we'll duck over there and put the big tedder on him and run him on the same course that he just ran. And we can come back and take these pieces. Look, doesn't like me trying to ted that strip down there. Get some bits of it. Okay. Must be right on that boundary that it allows. Never mind, that was a good pickup all the same. So we'll let the baler continue and we'll duck back over through the woodlands here. There's a couple of little bits by the looks. I did get the lit width of that mower slightly wrong, so it wasn't quite 10 meters. Either that or I didn't have it widened out properly. Looks like. Let's have a look at the Nova Cat. Crossflow, it is 10 meters, but I mustn't have had it stretched out, so it's just missed an annoying strip. So what we'll do, just to fix ourselves up there, oops, don't want you. Let's go to the front device and unfold you. Let's fix up our mistake. Fortunately, we'll have to do a couple more strips down the field. So we'll just do the front mower's width all the way round while we fix these corner bits and the little narrow stripes that we've missed. What Kevin's actually realised halfway through fixing up those errors was that because the header is wider than the mower, while he's fixing the stripes, he can actually ted the field without having to do an extra pass. So that's what he's doing. So it's not quite the way he was intending to do it. And then after this, he can then just run the windrower on the same course with any luck that he ran the original mower on, but making sure the windrower is opened out to its maximum width. So we'll check that in just a minute. It doesn't ted quite as fast as it would mow, but it gets those extra bits of grass, which is the main thing he was going for. Even if it does look a little bit funny running the narrow mower. There we go. Just move over there a little bit to get that. So a partial recovery from his first mistake. Well, that was certainly interesting and unexpected. Whilst Kevin's been driving around here, sorting out his error from earlier, took a phone call from the real estate agent, the realtor, I guess you would say, here in the US, that arranged or that handled the sale of his property when he and Jocelyn moved in a few years back. And it was just a, kind of a feeling out was the feeling Kevin got. The gist of the conversation was that rising from the attention that his stock is just starting to get on the sale markets, some big landholder from Texas is putting out feelers for opportunities to pick up some holdings in this area, and so the realtor just wanted to make Kevin aware of it. Was he potentially interested? Could the property be on the market? Now Kevin's, with his banking background's been around a little while, and he smells a fishing expedition when he sees one, so he just played it pretty dead bat and said, well, it's working pretty hard, building the place up, recovered from a lot of the state that it was in, but there's also a lot of money invested in it that we haven't seen a return on. And so never say never, but it'd have to be a pretty darn good offer to spend any real time thinking about, particularly with and he made sure he sort of dropped in the conversation that there's over $1 million worth of cattle on the property now, and there's some big crop yields have been and gone, and another big crop in the ground, so who knows where that might lead, but it was interesting nonetheless, and the first time Kevin's been in that situation. So as far as it goes with is he making an impact, that's the kind of call that makes him feel like maybe he's on the right track. So we'll have to see how that one plays out. For now though, we're just about finished heading this field. Just a couple of bits he missed because of the need to mow. Just sort of sorting this headland out. But, we'll throw the windrower on. Oop, we're outside the field there. We'll throw the windrower on. Come and get those last two strips in just a sec, and see if we can get this all rode up and ready to bale, and then we'll go check in on the baler, because he's got to be getting pretty close to have finished that other field. Just that one little strip down the edge there by the looks. Oh, there's a couple of little bits here. Missed on the way past. There's the tedding done. Now let's just see, can we do it on the same course, or do we need to? Do we need to do it on a different course, will be the question. Doesn't really matter one way or another. This would be the course we would use for the baler if we want to. Let's open you out. Open you and see what you got there. start for this course was down here. How wide is this windrower? A mere windrower is only 8.5, so we will have to do a different course. So let's cancel you, go in there. It's you only defaulting to 8.4, we said. Generate a course. And now we're in completely the wrong spot. We'll go over to where he starts, which is over here somewhere. Looking good. Make sure that he turns appropriately at the end and we don't miss any on the run back. Let's not get a face full of dust from that. Won't take him long to get to the bottom. I should say her. Won't take her long to get to the bottom. There we go at the end of the row. You'll pick up, I would expect. Do a U-turn. At some point, there you go. What's that line look like? Lovely. Swept it all beautifully. That's what we want to see. So let's go across and see how our class is getting on with the baler. And he's managed to get himself stopped. And we didn't notice. Which is a bit of a nuisance. Meanwhile, what we can do is take our vehicles back to the farm and potentially use the ute to grab the bale trail, or even the truck for that matter. Let's just run you forward. These can go to our own field because that'll be the next job, possibly next time, just to get our grass mowed. I've still got hay in there and a little bit of water, so that's good. And we can in fact run up the side of our crop here to the field where we want to drop these off. Crop's looking pretty good. Over there it looks like our weed is finished, which is to be expected. We just got the baling to get sorted out and we are good for the day. We'll leave this one here for now. Looks like we might have left our Oh no, there's our tedder just coming over the rise. Found it a bit of a long pull up, that little pinch. You can just see the canola be close to flowering, I'd reckon. But we'll just run through and back to the baler. Actually decided to run all the way back to check how we're going here, because the baling will be finished over there pretty shortly. Now that he's on the right track, there's only half the field to go. Looks like we're about halfway done here on the windrowing, so that's excellent. Yeah, just occasionally missing a smidge at the edge of the windrow, so I could probably do with 8.3 as a width. Or I've bumped the overlap down just a fraction too low. But either way, it's proving to be a productive day. And for now, I think that's where we'll leave it. We'll finish these contracts off next time. Thank you very much for watching. Kevin's got a heap to think about, and no decisions to make yet, but still plenty to discuss with Jocelyn, and we'll hear from him on his thoughts in the next episode. Thanks everyone. See you next time. Bye for now.